pretty here
I'll
fast.
start recording.
You probably get a notification.
Yep.
All right, cool. We are recording.
Good deal. And
Come one, come all. Welcome back to Chiowa. We are at episode 83. As always, I am Michael Olson alongside my good buddy, Michael Stampa. How we doing, my man?
pretty good. Can't complain. As always, I usually can't really complain. How's everything over there in Chicago?
Everything is good. We got to do something we haven't done in like almost a year. We got to like go for a run with each other this past weekend, so I'm stoked about that still. But no, it's
Together.
been a great
Insane.
yeah.
Haven't I don't think we've seen each other on a run. I don't think we've seen each other. I don't think we saw each other at all since you moved
Definitely not. No.
from when you moved from Des Moines to Chicago, and then
Yeah.
prior to that it was a couple times on a run,
Yeah.
before the middle of March.
Yeah. So it's been a while, but we have a great race recap from this past weekend, running the Earth Day 50K out in Crystal Lake, the Veterans Acres, in Stearns Woods race. So that was a ton of fun. We get super lucky with the weather. By the way, it's been like snowing. What the
Yep.
fuck in Chicago the past couple of days? Like, what the hell is that? So I'm feeling
has
even
this-
more fortunate that we got nice weather this past weekend.
Has the snow stuck at all in any capacity?
Fortunately, no. It just kind of been flurrying. But I was like running today, and it was flurrying. Like, what is this shit? Like, I had to put tights on again. Like, I was not a fan of that at all. So,
Not good.
but overall, I think that it's supposed to start warming up again. But we got super lucky this weekend and had a blast. And super stoked to kind of dive into the race recap of the Earth Day 50K.
Oh, for sure. Before we dive in, I've got some things that I jotted down that I wanted to shout out, and some things that I wanted to do a not shout out for, things that I'm unhappy with right now, which are just complaints, basically.
Okay.
So, first of all, let's go ahead and shout out to Kyle and Ashley Mueller for
Hell yeah.
crushing their back-to-back half marathons this weekend.
Yep.
They had a trail marathon on Saturday and the Drake
half
Relays
marathon.
Road Race
Yep.
half marathon on Sunday. Did I say half?
You said trail marathon, but it doesn't matter. Yep.
Yeah, half and half. They demolished it. Running 13 miles and 13 miles back-to-back days is not easy, and they both did a great job. So, shout out Kyle, shout out Ashley. You did a great job.
Yeah, they both smoked it. They both did an awesome job. Seeing the photos posted from the relays was funny. I know that Kyle and Ashley had both had some funny photos out there. But yeah, Kyle fucking smacked. I mean, Ashley did too, but Kyle fucking smoked the Drake relays half.
He ran like a 129 the day after running a trail half marathon.
Yeah, 127. Yeah,
127.
638 splits. So fucking smoking. Yeah, I mean that's fast as shit.
We don't deserve to run with him. He's so fast.
He's fast as fuck.
Lightning McQueen.
Yeah,
Lightning
whenever I feel
Kyle.
good about myself for a moment, run with Kyle. It makes you feel like ass.
Exactly. Like you're huffing and puffing, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we're gonna pick it up
here
above a brisk walk."
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
shout out to them. What are your other shout outs or complaints? Sounds like you have some complaints as well.
Yep. So we'll get into this more, but shout out to Nikki and Dan and us for running a 50K last weekend. Especially us, but also them too. But we'll get into that.
Yeah.
I'd also like to shout out Cliff Bars for no reason other than I've been incredibly hungry over the last couple days, and I've just had 3 Cliff Bars because we've had them sitting around.
What flavors?
I had a white chocolate macadamia nut. I had this other one that had some seeds in it that were actually pretty good.
Like chia seeds, or what kind of seeds?
I don't remember, honestly. I think it was one with sunflower seeds. It had like sunflower seeds and I don't know, some other stuff. And then I just had like an oatmeal raisin walnut one before we started recording. So just shout out Cliff Bars. Just I don't know. I've just been so hungry the past couple days.
Cliff Bars are usually one of my like go to before a race, like breakfast stuff. Like usually I'll have like my normal breakfast, like some fruit, have like my coffee in the morning. Then usually like when I'm in the car to the race or like going towards the start line, I'll have like a Cliff Bar before, like a 30 minutes to an hour before actually going off. So that is part of my regular pre-race routine, and I ate a lot of them on the course too, depending on what race it is. So yeah, I mean Cliff Bars are fucking delicious, and they're good for like racing and just eating anytime.
Yeah, and like I don't eat them normally, just like sitting around, but I bought them for the race. Actually, I bought them for my last race and didn't eat them all, and then I brought them to this race and didn't eat any of them. I think I might have had one, so I just have like 6 of them sitting around. So I was like, I'm hungry. We don't have a lot of like snack food. We try not to keep snack food. But when I'm hungry at 2:30 in the afternoon, I'm going to eat something. So
yeah,
it was like a Cliff Bar or like another banana, or I could prepare something. I'm not going to make anything.
Yeah, I think I do that intentionally. Is like overbuy on snacks, being like, oh no, I didn't eat these 47 like bags of fruit snacks before during my race. Now I have to eat these over the course of the next week or two. And as you say, it
Oh
started snowing again
no.
here, so that's fucking great.
Is it
But
really?
anyways, yeah, I
It's sunny and like 50 degrees here.
always overbuy on snacks. That's a veteran move for sure.
Yeah. And then I have some not shout outs. I'm not gonna name names, but on Saturday after the race, I went and I got a milkshake from somewhere, and I was not happy with it. It
What? Why?
because the technique that is now in place to make the milkshakes is different from when we were in high school. So it did not taste any different than like a Baskin Robbins milkshake
Ah,
with that
damn.
consistency. So I was unhappy with it. So again, not naming any names, they offer a lot of other great products
I mean, we've
and
definitely
everything else
talked
that I
about the
had.
place you worked at numerous
Hey,
times on this
hey, don't say
podcast.
anything. I don't want to give it away
Yeah, I mean,
because they were fantastic.
you
But
just said the different than when you
I was
worked
just
there in
not.
high school.
No, I said when I went there.
Oh, okay.
I've been
Okay.
there. I did. We'll listen back. We'll listen
Okay.
back and
You're
see.
probably right. Okay.
Yeah, you're doxing them now. Anyway, I was just not super pleased with it. It was still like a perfectly fine milkshake. It just wasn't what I was had in mind. So not too
Yeah. Well,
happy
I
with
paid
that.
$7 for 2 scoops of ice creams from Margie's across the street. Margie's
It was
chocolate
huge. Those
Marty's.
are huge scoops though.
Yeah, and
What kind of ice cream did you get?
I got a scoop of cookie dough and a scoop of cookies and cream.
Okay.
I kind of panicked because there was a huge line, and I knew I wanted to get cookies and cream, and then I couldn't decide what else to get, and then that was just like beneath it, and I panicked and went cookie dough, which is not usually what I get, but like I said, there's a gazillion people in there. They were burning people through. I had never ordered from there, so I kind of like was flustered. They were in my head, and then I just ended up splurting out cookie dough, and it wasn't bad. But it probably, if I had to go back again and do it again, I probably wouldn't get that as my second scoop. But say la vie, it was actually delicious, but not $7 good. But
Okay. But
I feel
seven
what you're
dollars
saying.
after a race though, good.
Yeah, no, exactly. I didn't. That was all I had for like dinner was like after we ate lunch after the race. I was pretty fucking full because we ate at a
Hmm.
weird time, and that's all I did was eat that ice cream and sit on the couch the rest of the day before I went to bed. So no complaints.
Yeah. We same thing after we went to the cottage. I was also pretty full, but we went home, showered, got some ice cream, and then we watched the movie Accepted, which is just a
Oh,
great movie.
South
Like
Conrad Institute
2006,
Technology,
Justin Long exactly.
the
And then
shits.
I had like 3 bowls of goldfish just because like I wanted something to do, and I just
Flavor
lay down
blasted
and
or
I put the
regular?
regular.
Okay, the gallon
That's what my
jug.
parents had. Huh?
The gallon jug, of
Oh, of course.
course.
Like
Okay.
the milk carton looking thing.
Yeah, the
Oh yeah,
gallon.
big
Yeah.
time. Yeah. I think they buy well they have it. My parents don't eat that food, but my nieces or my nieces do,
Yep.
and like my sisters do and stuff, um and I think they buy like 1 or 2 of those cartons a year, like every 6 months or so, and then they just buy the refills and refill them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're a great mindless snack. Like you can eat
Hmm.
you can eat probably like 4 bowls, and it's like popcorn. Like you don't even realize that you're eating it, and the next thing you know, you
Yep.
look down, you have to go get a refill because it's gone.
Yep. That's like what I said. I was laying on the couch. I
Yeah.
had the bowl on my belly, and I was just popping goldfish into my mouth. So easy, so
Yeah.
good.
No, it's a great snack. It might be a top 10 all time snack. Like it might be up there, like
I
salty
would say it
snack.
would be.
Yeah.
They're
It's iconic
delicious.
for sure,
Yeah.
and
Okay,
it's
I
good
have
for
one
all
more
ages.
thing. Yep. I have one more thing that I want to not shout out.
Okay.
So I'm going to not shout out just being overwhelmed by having lots of little tiny things that you have to do around the house, not like work related, but just little things that you can accomplish. But it's just like, do I really want to do that now, or do I really want to sit down and watch the Cubs game? Because every time I walk into the basement, I see that, oh, I have to put that basket away. Oh, and I should probably find a place for this locker. Oh, and I have this memorabilia stuff that I should probably hang up somewhere. But I just don't ever do any of it. So I
Yeah.
think what I need to do is just do like a bump of cocaine. No, I'm just kidding. Just grab a beer, put on a podcast, and just knock it all out.
Yeah.
And I'll get it done in an hour, and I will learn nothing from it. And 2 weeks later, I will have more small things that I need to do.
Yeah. It's a never ending task for sure.
Yep.
I mean, everyone has those, whether it's like, it can be cleaning the basement or like, hanging up a picture frame or something. But when you
It's
actually
literally
do it,
that.
it takes like 3 minutes. but you
Yep.
think about it for like 7 weeks, and
Yep.
then you actually do it. I'm like, oh, why did I like spend so much physical and mental energy about like not doing this when I could have taken 3 minutes? But
Yep.
that's everybody.
And then we don't learn anything. We don't learn from our mistakes because then it's done,
Yeah,
and then
it's
those things
yeah,
just pile up again.
true, true.
It's annoying.
It
So
is
anyway, I
annoying.
have that going on right now. I have like 4 things to do down here, and I'm just very blatantly just not doing them.
Just podcasting in the afternoon instead.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Podcasting, going for runs, watching Cubs games, taking
yeah, there's
naps.
worse things in life. But
Yep,
anyways,
absolutely.
and do you have any other complaints or shout outs, or should we get into a little bit of a race recap from this weekend?
Nope, no more complaints. You've heard enough from me. Life's not that bad. I also need to go get some more matches from upstairs because I ran out of matches for my candle down here.
Ah, damn.
So I know every time I go upstairs, I forget.
What
So,
flavor? What scent is the candle?
um, honestly,
Like
smells
linen?
good. Uh, this says Travelton Blue Jean. It does not smell like blue jeans. That's a weird.
It's an unknown scented candle. Got it. Got it.
Yeah, it's
Anyways,
good though.
I want to hear
Blue jean
about.
might be like a flavor or whatever
Got it.
scent, but
Got it. I want to hear
smells good.
about kind of your thoughts. I know we talked about it a little bit during the run and then during a little bit after the run, but now that you've had a few days to kind of let the lactic acid kind of get out of your legs and kind of get back into running and training again. What are your thoughts on this past weekend's race, the Earth Day 50K? Where does it stack up among your favorites you've done, and what do you think of the course and the venue?
I absolutely loved this race, and I think that you're going to say the exact same thing. I think this stacks up as probably a top 3 race that I've done
Yeah,
in terms of ultras or anything, marathon distance or longer. And I think that there's a few things that kind of play into it. One, the company. It was me, you, Dan, and Nikki. Um, well, we can get into that later, but it was a beautiful trail as well.
it was a beautiful trail.
No road crossings. It was pretty runnable, still pretty hilly. Um, Ornery Mule as the racing company, they do a great job putting on races, so they had great support. It was pretty easy to follow along the course, even though we got lost a couple times or took a couple wrong turns,
That
just
was
because
our
we
own
weren't
fault,
paying
though.
attention. And then also you can't have a perfect race day without perfect race day weather, and that's what we had.
Yeah, we did.
Started out a little chilly, probably mid to high 30s. After that first loop, though, I think we all shed the gloves, shed the jackets,
Yep.
and it was just sunny all day. The ground was nice and soft. It wasn't muddy at all. Like my shoes were cleaner after the race than they were
Same.
going into it.
Same.
It was insane. So I would say given all of that, it was definitely probably the best race experience that I'd had in terms of uh, course quality, in terms of like comfort on the course, and in terms of how I felt throughout the day, not really having any low points.
Yep.
All in all, just it was probably again the best experience and probably top 3 favorite race that I've done.
Yep. I think it hit the nail on the head. I think first and foremost, I mean, there's no doubt about it. Like, there's so many factors that go into making a race, but I think the number one is weather. I mean, you could be racing the most beautiful, pristine course in the world, but if it's raining or snowing, you're not, it's not going to be as enjoyable as if you have perfect weather. And we had perfect
Yep.
weather. Um, and the fact that it was spring and the trail was not overgrown yet, but it was just turning green. You still had some leaf litter on the ground to kind of soften the running path, and it was I was incredibly impressed with the trail, super well maintained. They did a great job flagging the course, and even though we, on our own, uh, on our own doing, kind of went off course a couple times, and that's just because we were lost in conversation with different people we were talking to, which is awesome and why we enjoy running trails, as is. But weather was perfect. Love the single track. It was a good balance of runnable and challenging. There were some good hills. I think that through the 31, 32 miles that the race went, it was between 30 3 and 4,000, 3,500 feet around there of
Mm-hmm.
elevation gain. So it was a good challenging course. It was a fair course and had a blast. We did 5.2 mile loops,
Yep.
5.2 and change. So it was and I never felt like it was repetitive. I've done loop courses where I'm kind of like, okay, lap 4 or 5, I'm kind of getting sick
I
of
mean,
this.
just a month ago you did something
Yeah,
like that.
right. And it was, I was a concrete versus trail, but it was just so enjoyable. I thought everyone was like incredibly positive from the uh, race director to the volunteers to the runners. I just thought it was overall like great energy and experience. And like you said, we took our time. We didn't push it too hard, and we had a great time. I enjoyed each and every step. I never had any low points. It was just like positivity and happiness the entire time. So it was an awesome, awesome race. I totally agree with you.
Yep. It's something you said about the positivity and everybody kind of, feeling good. Not necessarily that everyone felt good throughout the whole race, but
Right.
I feel like in terms of the runners that we came across, the people we spoke with, and then also the volunteers and the people at the aid stations and the people along the course.
Yep.
Granted, maybe the weather played into it, but everyone seemed to like have a smile on their face. It seemed like everyone
Totally.
was in good spirits the whole time. And I've definitely been to races before where that wasn't the case, where people were there to do their job and it was
Right.
25 degrees and snowing and people were just out there because they felt like they had to be out there.
Right.
I feel like all of the factors that played into it in terms of the people and how they were acting, races and racers and not racers, or runners and non runners, played into that as well, without a doubt.
Yeah, I think you said everyone we met in the trail was awesome. We got to run with a handful of different people. It was fun to recognize, as I'm kind of getting my kind of feet dipped into uh, the ultra end of Chicago and kind of getting to gone through a couple different races, kind of recognizing a couple different people and getting to know them and have good conversations. I know we met a gentleman named Joe who I recognized from Lakefront, and another guy I think his name was Roger that I recognized from Lakefront that we got to I got to have really good conversations with on the trail at the finish line, just connecting with them and kind of embracing the local community here of ultra running was super cool to kind of only doing two races, but recognizing people and having conversations and comparing notes. It was super fun. Everyone was just so upbeat, and
Mm-hmm.
I think we probably ran with I don't know maybe four different people. We ran one,
Yeah, maybe
four or
four
five or so.
four to six different people.
Yeah,
Yeah, throughout
like,
the race for any substantial amount of time, enough to
right.
meet them, introduce them, hear about what they do, learn about what they're how they
Yeah,
run, what they race, all that kind of stuff.
and that was so enjoyable. They were all so interesting and so kind, and varying levels of ultra experience, and just had an awesome time getting to chat with those people, and certainly like left feeling inspired to keep pushing the boundaries and keep going further. Hearing about the Potawatomi stories from all the different people there doing
Mm-hmm.
different length races was awesome. Just super inspiring stuff.
Yeah. So would you go back to that race and do it again?
Definitely, I think the fact it's only an hour from me, where I'm at right now, it's so super convenient. I thought the trail was gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I might go out there just run the loop on my own sometime just
Yep.
to be out there on the trail. So I thought it was such a well maintained trail. I know obviously it was a race, so people were eating food and taking stuff from aid stations and putting garbage in their packs. And so some it's inevitable that somebody's going to drop a payday bar or something. But I was incredibly impressed with how clean the trail was. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
very little garbage. We picked up a handful of pieces just because that's what you do when you're on the trail. But compared to other trails I've ran anywhere, like it was just I felt like it was pristine. It was like hardly any trash. There were people out there maintaining the trail while we were running that weren't even a part of the race. I'm not sure if you noticed that. People were like
Yep.
taking care of different
They're like
wild.
volunteer organizations out there
Yeah,
to do whatever. Yeah.
exactly. So I think that stood out to me too. Was it was well maintained in terms of being runnable and not overgrown, but there was like no trash, which was awesome to see.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was nice to see that. It seemed like it was obviously Ornery Mule was there, and I'm sure they do a good job maintaining or volunteering to maintain a lot of the course.
For sure.
They obviously had the course well marked and people at situation or at different places to direct you and down one place or down another. And then, like you said, it was awesome to see other people out on the trails, both using them, running, biking, walking,
Yep.
and then also cleaning them up. It just makes you that much happier that you're supporting a race that takes place in a community where people care about their trails and people care about what they're doing.
Yeah,
So,
and I think that's part of the kind of the cycle that ultra running is. It's
oh, for
you
sure.
if you're running a race, enjoy the race, and that's your day. But when you're out on your training runs or whatever, reach down and pick up that trash. Organize a group outing to pick up trash. Go volunteer at another race. Just all about kind of maintaining that community and taking care of the resources that we enjoy utilizing for these kinds of stuff. So, anyways, I was super impressed by that. So I don't know who's in charge of that area in Crystal Lake, but they do a phenomenal job of maintaining it. And it did not feel like I was an hour away from Chicago. I think I said it in the first loop. You could have been with the pine trees that you're running through the majority of the
Mm-hmm.
time. You could have been in northern Ontario, Canada. You could have been in Wisconsin. You could have been in you know North Dakota. You could have been anywhere. I would
Yep.
never. You could tell me anywhere. I would not have guessed Crystal Lake, Illinois, an hour away from Chicago. So,
Yep. And I
um,
think that's something that they have that I mean, Geneva, from what I know, doesn't have like a long or even like the area around Geneva does not have a
yeah,
long single track or single track optional type of
right,
a place, available to it. And I think we've talked about this before, but that's one of the things that is super nice about Des Moines is that
yeah,
we do have a handful of single track type trails available to us for hiking, biking, running, stuff that's not
yep,
car or or
definitely.
motorized vehicle accessible.
Yeah, I think
Where
outside
you
of like
can hop out there
missing,
and you have no idea that you're in the middle of Des Moines.
definitely. I think outside of I mean, obviously missing friends and stuff. Like that's the number one thing I miss being 5 minutes from single track trails and it's not the longest course longest paths in the world, but you can go 4 5 6 miles wherever you are,
Mm-hmm.
and not hear traffic or cars or anybody else. So that's definitely something I miss about Des Moines, because you can be 5 minutes away from kind of being in your own little world in the woods. So
Yeah.
I definitely miss
What?
that. But yeah, Des Moines does a great job of that.
Yeah, you and Dan need to find a place. I think he was talking about a place like a
Yeah,
half hour south of the
Palos.
city.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Palos.
Yep.
Yep. I
You
need to
should
get
get
out
out
there
there.
soon.
Yeah, absolutely. So what did you have this race pre-race and like in terms of food and how did you prepare?
Yeah.
And since this race went as well as it did in terms of like I felt we were both kind of just comfortable throughout the whole race.
Yep.
Is that going to be your new normal
New normal in terms of what?
in
Eating
terms of
stuff?
like the food you eat the day before, the morning of,
Yeah.
etc.?
I almost always eat the same stuff before a race. So I think I kind of have my quote unquote normal. And I eat the same thing that I basically eat before every day or every run. Like in the morning, I usually do like fruit is how I kind of start my day. So coffee, water, and fruit is kind of how I start every day. So that's what I did for race days. So I always have, I'm a fruit kind of addict. I always have a bunch of fruit in my fridge. So I had banana, kiwi, strawberry, blueberry, blackberry, stuff like that. Had some coffee, had some water, and then I had a Cliff Bar in my bag that I ate, as we were in the car, kind of heading towards Crystal Lake. So fruit, water, coffee, and then a Cliff Bar closer to race start.
Nice. So kind of like, did you have a fettuccine alfredo the night before?
I did not, but I did have the day prior, maybe 2 days prior. They may have had some leftovers. I made some I made some pasta, so I did have some
Mhm.
pasta a couple days before to do a little carb load. I think I had like a frozen pizza the night before because I was like, it's Friday night, I want some pizza.
Yeah, we had Lou Malnati's on.
Ooh, nice.
I think we had Lou's on Thursday, but then we got pizza on Friday also with
I remember
Karen.
you said he had a lot of pizza.
I had pizza 3 of my 4 meals prior to the race, not including breakfast and morning of, was pizza in some capacity,
That's
which
a
I'm not
lot.
complaining about. It was good,
It's a lot of
but
pizza
yeah,
for
it
sure,
is.
for sure.
That's okay.
So
Um,
what? So obviously you have your pre-race meal, gets to the start line. Pack and pickup was super convenient, super easy. Had great swag. The hat we got and the shirt we got
mhm.
was awesome. And I already got the Earth Day sticker on my cooler where I kind of stick all my stickers. But what we're like, I know we obviously ran the whole thing together, but and we took it pretty comfortable, had a great time. What were your something like, what was the most enjoyable part for you? Was it, a specific loop? Was it a certain section of the course? Was it meeting new people, running together? What was your kind of your highlight, or a couple of highlights um of the race?
Sure. So I think that we can both default to say that our favorite part of the race was running the 32 miles together, 31 miles together.
Yeah, it was a great
So,
time.
yeah, I'll talk about my second favorite. I keep going back to that little lollipop portion. I
Yeah.
just really enjoyed it. I don't know why, but I keep kind of like replaying it through my head, some of the like turns that we were making. Um, so the lollipop portion, which for those of you who are listening, there's a little out and back that looked like a lollipop to an extent. Um,
Kind of like
and
deflated
then
balloon.
exactly. I felt like it was relatively runnable. It
Yeah.
was comfortable, it was shaded, and maybe I'm remembering wrong. But it wasn't an area where you really could get lost just because it seemed like it was single track the whole way.
Yep.
which was just made it more comfortable to run and stay on that path, stay on that piece. It's also nice because that's when we saw Carlson like 3 times in passing. So
Yeah.
after he kind of took off, we saw him. So that was just
Yep.
like an added bonus or whatever. Um,
And shout out to the guy with the costumes. He had
oh,
a different costume every fucking loop.
yep, every single loop in a different like onesie basically.
Mm-hmm.
I also liked that portion because after the basically the second lap, you can start to chunk the race into different pieces,
Mental
and this was
checkpoints.
kind of the
Yep.
second to last chunk for the
Yep.
most part. So that's why I like that piece. And then the other part of the race that I keep thinking about is when pretty early on, really, when we are coming out of coming out of the woods the first time, make a left, and then we march down and go by the pinwheels
Yep.
for some reason. When we make that right turn on the pinwheels, that's
Yeah.
memorable to me too.
Yep.
I don't know if it was just because like there were people there the whole time, or the pinwheels were cool, or if it's because like the rest, like from there on, you start to like enter the woods a little bit more. But I don't know. Those are the pieces that are really sticking in my head.
Yep. Yep. I,
I
I,
don't know.
I agree. I always like, kind of bombing the downhills at times. I think
Yeah, you
that's always,
fly. You're a good downhill runner, like in
I
the good
enjoy
way.
that.
Like you move pretty quickly. You're ballsier than I am.
I do enjoy the downhills. It's the one time in my life where I can feel like I'm moving fast. So, gotta enjoy that. But no, I agree. I think that I always enjoyed the sections where the volunteers who weren't, it wasn't necessarily aid stations, but they were kind of directing traffic.
Hmm.
And everyone was super kind. But I think that like kind of three of the volunteers kind of really stood out to me, and I always looked forward to like seeing them and saying, waving hi to them. One was the pinwheel gal that she was super high energy and great, and kind of always was joking with us when we were joking with her. So
Hmm.
her, and then the lady with the
The unicorn
unicorn
pizza.
hat, unicorn hat with the pizza blanket. She was super fun,
Yep.
and gave us a hard time when we were kind of being dorks. And then the guy with uh, the different outfits, like he was a great time too, and was always uh, you know jawing back and forth and in a fun, playful way, which was great. So I think those I always look forward to kind of seeing those three people. Um,
Yep. And we saw him the
yeah,
entire time too.
yeah, they were out there
You
the
know.
entire what 6 hours, 6+ hours we were out there. So
Yep.
um, then yeah, I really like I loved like the entire trail. There's portions I think I said every single time, but when there was that section that was a lot of just downed pine needles, that
Hmm.
was super soft to run on. I loved
So
that.
nice.
Um, and then there's some good challenging like climbs that we walked basically all but the first lap when we ran most of it. Like I thought the hills were made it challenging and made it fun, and like I like having the disbursement of like muscles that are utilized in races. So I enjoyed the entire thing. I mean I think the one part that I didn't necessarily love was when you went out of the start finish area, and then you kind of went around that little pond, and that was the only non-trail portion that was like you're
Hmm.
running around on some crushed gravel.
It's like
And
a quarter mile or so.
yeah, and then that was not bad at all. That's always kind of like you finish your little snack out of the aid station, then you toss it in the garbage before you start heading back on the trail. Like that was the only portion of the race that I was like, this isn't like visually beautiful, and there was still
Yep.
a body of water right there too, which was great. So
Yep.
um yeah, it was just an overall awesome experience. It was a great time.
It was. And to that point too, I think I would agree with you. Obviously that was the part of the race that was least like visually stimulating. But I also think like looking back on it, like it was kind of nice that we were able to, like you said, grab our food, grab a banana, grab some whatever, grapes or some snack, and have like 2 garbage cans in the next like quarter mile to half
Right.
mile, so you
Definitely.
can kind of start to jog and you can get your get your feet under you again after being stopped for 5 minutes, and then toss that shit away
Yep.
and then get back onto the trail.
Which this is not intentional, but this is rolling into my next question. I think we have to talk about what foods we ate during the race,
Absolutely.
because that was exactly the point of the race when we were eating food as we were heading out of the aid station, stuffing our face with all kinds of things. So, what did you eat? And was there anything that stuck out during the race that was fucking delicious?
There was nothing that stuck out that was that delicious. Just because the stuff that I normally like remember is like the hot dogs or like
Right.
grilled cheese or something like that. And I didn't have any of that this race,
Oh, you
not
didn't have
because I
a
didn't
brat at
want
the
it.
end, did you?
No, I didn't. I didn't
It was
know that. I
fucking
didn't
fire.
realize that they had like that the grill was going at the
I
end.
didn't either until
Um,
Carlson said something.
yeah, but no, I did not have one at the end. I was looking forward to my food and beer at the cottage.
Hmm.
Um, but no, so for the most part, I had like bananas and grapes on pretty much every loop. Okay, I lied. I do remember some of this stuff, and I have some highlights. Those Nutter Butters,
Oh, those are great.
so good. So I
Shall
grabbed a pack of Nutter
yeah.
Butters, like a 4 pack of Nutter Butters of the peanut shaped ones, probably in the first turn, like so at mile whatever at mile 6.5, and just shoved them in my pocket or shoved them in my
Yeah.
belt. And I don't think we had them until we were on like the 4th loop, and they were fine. I mean, they were packaged; they weren't like all salty and gross. But at some point, you were like, "Hey, we should have a little cookie time." I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah,
Cookie break.
absolutely,
Yep.
yep, cookie break."
As we were
So
going
we
up a
had
climb, I think. Yeah.
Yep. And so we had those Nutter Butters up a climb, had some Teddy Grahams, had some Famous Amos cookies, um, had some Gardettos and pretzels.
I
And
ate a lot of Gardettos.
yeah, I think you grabbed Gardettos almost every single loop.
Yeah, and I did. And I had some leftovers here, and then I smashed them the next day. They were, they were in my pack that I brought home, and I ate all of those the next day too.
They're
So,
so good.
oh
That's
god,
that
so good.
saltiness that you get. And also shout out to you for sharing some of your salt tabs. I noticed I think on the
No,
first lap or towards the end of the first that or maybe towards the end of the second that I forgot them. Like I just left them in Des Moines and my fingers were swelling. And it was just super kind of you to share. I know they're
well,
expensive and some
I
and
said
money.
and I knew that prior going in the race, I said, hey, I'll bring this whole tub because you always forget something, and I mean, I just happened to be looking at them, so no worries. And then I know that I always have to take them because my fingers. That's something I always do. Is like if you're like ever like behind me and see me in the race, like I always like touch my fingers to my thumb, and if I don't feel like there's any pressure or it doesn't feel like it's tingly, then I know I'm good on salt. And if I ever get close, if I ever start feeling that, it's like okay, I need to take salt tabs right this second. So
Yep.
um, yeah, I took quite a bit of, even though I didn't sweat a ton, it wasn't super hot. I probably took, I don't know, 5 or 6 salt tabs throughout the race.
Yeah.
I take maybe more than the average person, but
Yeah.
it
No,
helps me
I
kind of.
mean I grabbed some at one of the aid stations too.
I
I
saw
think I
that.
probably
Yep.
had probably about 4 or 5 throughout
Yep.
the race.
Yep.
Um
I ate
yeah.
a
So
lot of
what
salty stuff too.
yeah, what kind of food stuck out to you?
I ate a lot of fucking salty food. So I had cheese Ritz bits. I know you didn't like those, but
Yeah, I don't like those.
those tasted delicious to me. I had a lot of Gardettos. Um, I had Cheez-Its. I
Those were
had
fire too.
a lot of Lay's potato chips. I
Yep,
think this
those
kind
were
of
fire.
showcases that I'm a salty person and you're like a sweet person. You eat a lot of
I am.
cookies. I eat a
I got
ton of
like
salt.
I got like 4 packs of cookies throughout the race,
Yeah,
which
I think
doesn't help. They just taste good.
yeah, I think the only cookies I had were the one, the handful that you gave me, the Nutter Butters and the Famous Amos. And then I grabbed some Oreos, and then I didn't eat them, and I ate them the next day on
That's perfect.
on Sunday, as I was being a lazy piece of shit the following day. Um, but yeah, I think that's all I really had. And I ate, I had blocks that I ate that I brought with, and I took some salt tabs and took some Aleve. Um, but I don't think I ate any Pringles during the race. As soon as we sat down, that I ate the Pringles that I brought. But yeah, a lot of salty stuff for me for sure.
Yep. And it's critical. I mean, it's important for us to like now we're at the point where I think we kind of know what we can and can't eat. I think that also plays into why our races have recently been going better than worse. Like
Yeah, no, for
we've all
sure.
kind of felt well. So, we've been there before. We're comfortable being uncomfortable in that capacity, and we know what we can and can't eat. I also had a cup of coffee at some point during the
Yeah,
race
you
too,
did. Yeah, I remember that.
which was super. It was just I, don't know, I just wanted a cup of coffee, so I had a cup of coffee.
Yeah,
So that was nice.
and I think it also helps too, at least for me. Um, I always, I always like have some, stomach issues or more issues come up to me for me when it's hotter out, and the fact that it was pretty tempered climate, certainly helps, relieve any of that, concerns for me. It's a lot of mental too, probably, but
Yep.
I find that when I'm not, sweating very much and it's not hot, that it's obviously much easier to kind of regulate my GI issues if those ever come up. So,
Yep. Yeah.
but
Really didn't have any issues during the race.
no,
Didn't eat
none,
twice.
which was nice. So,
Yeah.
I think I know I told you in the race, I don't think I've ever had. Maybe one of the race was similar, but I never. That was the best I've ever felt, start to finish. Like I feel like I enjoyed every single step, which was always the goal, and not something you experience very often. So it was fucking great. I had an awesome time, and I think
Yep.
yeah, like we said, it weather and then the course and then the volunteers. It was just an all around great day.
Yep. So how are your feet?
Oh, I got blisters. Oh yeah, I got all kinds of blisters on my feet. I thought I was like through it, and then I went for a run today, and took my socks off, and it was like somebody just cued like Back in Black, and it was like,
Oh,
and then it was back in full force. It was not.
it
It
was
was
bad.
not.
Oh,
Yeah, it was bad. So little needle, and then that fixes it. Needles and band aids and Neosporin. It's part of. I always get them on my big toes,
yep.
um, but it's all good. I mean, I don't lose any toenails ever. Knock on wood, but I always get big old blisties.
Well, good. I'm glad. I think this race and then the one last month are the only two where I've never had any issues. I had one. I take that back. I had one blister after 50Ks of convenience, but it was minimal.
Yeah,
And again, knock on wood, I had no issues this time. No
it's
blisters.
super nice.
No lost toenails or anything. And at one point, I kicked a
You
I
kicked
kicked
a
a
root
tree root
hard. Yeah, I
hard.
did.
Like it took like probably a half mile for it to become like comfortable again
Yeah,
for me to like run. I for sure thought that I was losing at least one toenail
and
off
you
that
knew it
one.
right away when you
Yep.
kicked. You were like, that one was bad.
Yep. It was bad. Especially too because so my trail shoes are a little bit so they have a wide toe box, that's intentional. I think they're also a little bit too big. Like I bought them probably a half size too big anyway.
Okay.
So I just have a little bit more room in my shoe for my feet to move around, which is why I normally have toe issues just because in big
It's
races going
jamming.
downhill.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, whatever. So I it really felt that effect, but haven't had any issues
That's
so far.
huge. That's huge.
So
And that
yeah,
that makes it all. I mean, the time, obviously, the race you're doing, like you can kind of put any pain behind you.
mm,
But you gotta when you go home and you got blisters or you lose toenails. That's days, if not weeks, of kind of like lagging injuries that are annoying to deal with.
mhm.
So if you can come out unscathed from 31, 32 miles, that's a pretty good day.
Yeah, feel pretty good about it so far.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
So I think that's a pretty good race recap. I'm not sure if you have any other comments on that race, but no, we have another one coming up that we both kind of have to shift our
Oh,
focus to, which whether you're excited or not excited about, we got another pretty big race coming up. So
yeah. The only other thing I'll say about the race this last weekend, I said shout out Dan and Nikki. So Dan
definitely.
ran 50K. I believe it was the second 50K,
Yep.
and he smoked it. He did a great job. He looked good. He was moving good. Seemed like pretty much the whole time. Well, I'm sure we'll have him on to talk about it at some point. And
Definitely.
definite shout out to Nikki. I think we should have her on to talk. She ran 15.6 miles, so did 3 of the 6 loops. She was signed up for the 15-mile race, and that was about twice as far as she'd ever ran before.
And her first race ever.
Yeah, first race ever. I didn't realize she'd never done a race before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Electric. So I would love to. We'll have to
Yeah.
talk to her too. I'd love to pick her brain about what she was expecting going in, how it ended up panning out.
Definitely.
What would she have done differently? When she, how long has she been scrolling ultra sign up since the end of the race? All that stuff.
Yep. No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah. So we've got kind of like you were alluding to, Ironman 70.3 Des Moines
How
in
are you
June.
feeling about this? I'm so I can't
Oh
wait to hear
man,
how you're feeling.
I feel whatever. It'll be fine. I feel confident that I'll be able to complete the race.
First triathlon ever.
Yeah, first one ever. Literally never done a transition. Never. I got a wetsuit from Josh, son.
Yeah.
I picked it up on my way out to Chicago last weekend. But yeah. So never put the wetsuit on. I need to figure out how to wash it first. Never. I've swam. We started swimming a little bit last year, and then COVID hit, so we stopped. So I have like 7 weeks to start swimming again,
Yep.
and I still have this crappy hybrid bike that I'm like trying to actively upgrade. But there's such a shortage of bikes right now that I'm like willing to spend money. Not I don't want to spend $5,000 on a bike, but willing to
Right.
spend money on a bike, and just literally nothing's available. I've looked at Trek stores, I've looked at Giant stores, I've looked online, all Bike Worlds, bike shops in Kansas City and Omaha and Lincoln, and there's just like nothing available. So I don't know. I started looking like used too, but then at that point, it's like, do I really want to buy like
Right.
a used bike if I'm going to buy another bike? Like at that point, I'd rather just use my shitty hybrid and tough it out.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I don't know. It'll be fine. It'll come and go.
Yeah.
I think we said last time. I think I have one, maybe 2 free weekends before then.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. That's what I got.
It's just
Yeah,
gonna come up, and then
it's
we're just gonna do
busy,
it.
busy summer for sure. I mean, we're heading into bachelor party and wedding season.
Hmm.
We're still kind of right in the thick of that. So, yeah, I'm excited about it. I got had to go ran down the 606 today to the YMCA to kind of get my membership again, and got have to record or reserve pool time. So have to do like a week out because
Gnarly.
it's so hard to get a lane. So I'm
You
starting the
do you have it for
process of
like a
getting
certain
back in
amount
the
of time
pool.
too? Do you get it for like a half an hour or an hour, or
45
what's the
minutes. Yeah, 45
25
minutes.
minutes?
Yep.
It's not very long, is it?
45 minutes. Yeah.
Oh,
So
45. Okay.
yep, 45, which is all I really need for this race. I mean, that's about what it'll take to kind of do the swim. I just need to know that mentally, I can still move my arms, and I want to, it's 2 months will be plenty of time. You'll be fine. You've swam before. I just gotta get I have been doing a lot of running the last couple of years, so I gotta go get
Yeah,
my
that's
bike
it.
from Geneva. I gotta go get my road bike. So start logging some miles on there, get a couple long rides in, and a couple of brick runs, and we'll be all good.
Yeah.
I'm
I
excited though.
think it'll yeah, worst case scenario, like it'll suck, but as long as I can swim, like get through the swim, like it'll be fine.
Yeah,
Like
no,
Des Moines is
100%.
pretty flat, so the bike won't be terrible. Even if I
And
have to use this hybrid, it'll be fine.
yeah, and there's people they'll be in kayaks that you can, if you get tired, you can rest on their kayak, and you can take as much time as you need. So it'll be
Nice.
fine. I'm excited. I haven't done a triathlon since I did Ironman Wisconsin in 2018. So it's been it'll be close to two
It'll
and a
be
half
two and
years.
a half years. Yeah, almost three
Yeah,
years.
yeah, almost 3 years since I have done one too. And obviously no one really did one last year, but I'm excited to get back in the pool. Like I feel like that was one of the best shape I've ever been in was for Ironman Wisconsin. So I'm excited to kind of get back in the pool, kind of have to relearn a little bit, and have a different kind of exercise than just been running a whole bunch the last couple of years doing the ultra shit. So
Yep.
I'm excited to mix it up, and not just be pounding pavement. So we'll see.
Yep. One thing that I recall from last year was we started swimming in March, I think early March
Right before all
ish.
this shit.
So we might have gotten like 3 weeks of swimming in, and right towards the end of that stint, I started to like get comfortable, like
Yeah.
being in a pool. I could do, I don't know, like 1,200 meters without stopping. Prior to that, I was like, or whatever, 600 meters or something significant for
Yeah.
me.
Right.
Where before it was like, all right, down and back. All right, now I got to stop, and a couple times down and back. So I know that as long as I get like 3 to 4 weeks in, I'll have a comfortable base, and then I can do like a pool swim and an outdoor swim every week, and I should be okay. Like I'll feel
Right.
relatively confident. What I'm not confident in is having to start to reorganize and plan to work out somewhere that's not my house. Just because it's
Yeah.
been a year
To go
since I've
there.
had to like
Yeah.
shower at the Y, or like bike to work and shower out, bike to the Y, and swim and whatever, shower there and then go to work or whatever, because I'm going to
Right.
start going back into the office every now and again. So just mentally wrapping my mind around all the steps I need to take, because I had it down pat before. Like I had all my stuff at work ready to
Yep.
go. I had shower
Yep.
stuff. I had extra clothes. But now this last year, it's just been like, all right, I can just be lazy until I need to go do something, and then I'll come home and I'll take my time because I'm at home.
Right.
Whatever.
Yep.
We'll see.
It's just a change in dynamic, and it'll take a couple weeks to kind of break that rhythm. Then it'll become normal.
Yeah, and then it will be the race, and then I won't have to do that stuff anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
So
Have
whatever.
you started thinking about what's after the 70.3, or not so much?
So I want to run the New York Marathon. I've tried to get in like three. I guess last year they didn't have it, but the 2 years prior to that. So I want to do New York.
Okay.
If I can get into New York, then I'll do that. And if I do get in, then that's what I'll focus on. And I think I'm going to try to run it like train for a marathon, and like try to run it fast. And fast for me.
Right.
But if that doesn't pan out, then I'll start probably looking on ultra sign up again and find a 50 miler that seems doable, or 100K, or maybe another 100.
Cool.
I don't know. There's
Yeah.
something local.
Time will tell.
Yeah, you have Chicago coming up, right?
Yeah, I'm starting to get excited for that too. Like I've only,
Yep.
and I've mentioned it numerous times in this show, but I've only done one true road marathon. I've done
Same.
plenty of marathons, like within training or within races, but I've only done one true road marathon. So I'm starting to get excited about that. Kind of thinking about what's a attainable time, and it's always kind of been a race I've always wanted to do. So I'm excited to I've been I looked at actually this morning. I got up, earlier than normal, and I was kind of killing some time, and it saw like a race preview or a race recap of Chicago in the past. So I watched that, kind of got me excited, and excited to kind of have a big crowd again. Because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the races that we've been doing are out in the woods or smaller races where you have which I thoroughly enjoy, but it's a self-supported, in a lot of cases, and it's you don't have people lining the roads because you're out in the middle of nowhere. So I'm excited to have a different kind of race experience and race feel for that. So yeah, I'm getting excited for Chicago. It's not till October, so it's still 6 months away, but I'm getting excited for it for sure.
Yeah, I know. Who knows how much they'll let people out on the streets? Obviously, they can't control people gathering in like in. I guess they
Right.
can. They can't control people gathering on the side of the roads, but hopefully, they'll people will be smart and stuff. But from what I recall, watching or running in Chicago in 2016, pretty much every single part of the way there were some sort of spectators on the streets, except for like bridges and stuff.
Right.
I think there were some neighborhoods where the support wasn't quite as crazy,
Sure.
but there were some neighborhoods like some neighborhoods up north running through. I don't think we got as far north as Lincoln Park, but anyway, there's great support. Something's going wonky with my computer right now.
Yeah,
Oh
I'm excited. I think it does go through Lincoln Park.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm super stoked for that. And that's all I really got in the calendar right now. Maybe find another 50K or something like that to toss in there, or maybe even like a Olympic distance triathlon or something like that. Who knows?
yep.
But I'm excited to have two races under the belt. I loved this one. It was a great experience, and not to say that Lakefront wasn't, but this one was up
Just
there as one of
different.
my favorites that I've ever done. So
Yep.
super stoked that we get to run together again, catch up, share 6+ hours on the trails together. It was awesome. Meet some cool people, and it was just an awesome day. So
Yep. It was.
had a great time. I think that's kind of all I got for this week. I wanted to kind of recap Earth Day, kind of prep for uh
For
70.3,
IM.
kind of see how you were feeling. I know you got
Yep.
your Y membership too, so you got to start going
Well,
back.
that's
And
the other thing. You know how I mentioned I have a lot of little things that I have to do?
yeah,
I was signing up for the Y, and then I needed my credit card number upstairs, so I didn't do it yet.
got it. Okay, got
So I
it.
still need to do
All
that.
right, got it.
So
Well,
I'll
maybe
do
you
that
can do that
tonight.
when we're done here.
Yep. All
Cool.
right. Good
Well,
deal.
if nothing else, we appreciate you guys listening this far, and we will catch you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, good.